everyone, and welcome to another week's episode of the Eat Fruit Pod.
Eat fruit, and mind your business.
Here with your girl, Killa.
Hello. Good evening, good morning. What is it you say? Good morning.
Oh, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, or good morning, good afternoon, good night.
We're gonna say that just because this has been a whole day process. Hope everybody is beautiful out there in the radio space, in the podcast space, in the YouTube space, in the Apple space, in the every space, and all the platform spaces, and every spaces, and everything's good.
Bare space, bro. Bare space.
Holding bare space in the place.
So this week, the fruit that we be given is cherry.
It's cherry vibes.
And if you haven't listened to the playlist already, you're missing out. We got stamp of approval from a bunch of queens, and it's we're just truly, truly excited that you guys are showing us so much support, and we're truly grateful. So thank you guys. You can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Music. Make sure you make sure you follow us, and keep giving us feedback. So cherry, it was giving sexy vibes. Killa, what was it giving for you?
It was honestly we didn't put Night Nurse on there because I just felt like it would be too obvious, but it's giving that 4 a.m. 2:30 to 4 a.m. Night Nurse, late night vibes, it's a little 18 and up,
18. Okay.
Just a little nice, but it's tasteful because we always keep it classy.
I had someone on Instagram call it we said we should have called it the bareback playlist. I was like, oh Lord.
We did kind of take it there, I'm not gonna lie.
We did. And by the secret garden, it was just
we call it sexy, but it's really just it's uber sensual, and that's the chef's kiss.
You see the artwork, you see the knot on the cherry, you know what that is.
Let me tell you how I was loving the knot, but I was loving how the cherry was glistening and it was dripping. I was like, this with
that's
the black background. Was there a reflection? I can't remember.
It was it was a slight hinted reflection. Thanks, Killa approved. So we have, if you're listening, we have no idea what's going on, but if you're watching, you're able to see Killa's new look. Okay, you're able to see all the beautiful merch, and you're able to see our special guest for this week. So Killa, please introduce our guest for this week.
Right, we do have an extra special guest with us today. Our first full episode, chilling with us, chiming in guest. She is an author, an artist, creator, composer, and exec, an overall super creative. We have the president of Fifth House of Creativity, Inc. We have Amethyst, Amaris. Hello, darling. Welcome, queen.
You listed everything. I love it.
Everything. And I was like, wait, there's more. But I was just like, no. Let's give the people the taste that we're going to give them, and they can come back. Because, the first taste is always free.
Wow. I love it.
Before we get into this week's show, we want to remind you guys to please hit that subscribe button, share, and keep tagging us at Eat Fruit Pod on all social media platforms. As well, this week's episode is sponsored to you by Shop Downtown, which is where you can get your original Downtown World merch. So you can either visit the website www.downtownworld.com or any of the links, and it will bring you to shop at Downtown and get your merch. Get fly and rep. Don't waste your time with negativity.
In that glow bomb.
You see what I'm saying? Get your world up.
Right.
Killa, let us know our other sponsors.
Got Icy Little Things, BigKilla.com, SauntLisi.com. We also have Saunt Lisi Skin at and on Instagram. Icy Little Things on Instagram. Check out Big Killa for the merch. We're all encompassing. We got the good skin. We got the pretty belly beads. We got the sweatshirts just because, it's a nigga shit. Why shouldn't you? Crypto accepted.
And mind your business.
So, as we preluded already, this week things are, a little bit sexier, but we want to dig a little bit more deeper into that. So, we are starting off pineapple fruit this week, and Killa, where do you it's a fun time. So where are you looking to start this week?
I feel like we should do like the heavy first. I have the gender roles and even like the cultural aspects of how we've learned to like approach our own sexualities.
Right? Okay. So let's break it down a little bit more for everyone. So Killa and I like were speaking and we were just kind of like, okay, we want to like somehow have a conversation about sex. But then the question came where it was just like, what were we originally like taught by our parents or like people that we were surrounded by those young like ages? What did they let us know about sex? And my answer was ain't shit. All I got told was don't come home pregnant.
Ain't shit.
I definitely didn't get told nothing. I told them when I started, and I started at too young. So, but I definitely was told I was gonna go to hell.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm just, I don't even believe in hell.
Right.
At the end of the day, I was the same. It was like, oh, you know, don't get pregnant. Men are conquerors, and that was pretty much it. You had made a point, and you were saying that you felt like there were so many years where you actually didn't even want to get into your own sexuality, and you were being like blamed for it, kind of thing. Like I experienced that. My mom was always just like so paranoid that I was gonna come home with a belly, like one day. And to me, like even when I hear it now, I'm just like, well, women make babies, so that's not the weirdest thing ever.
Legit. And like, why is that such a like uncomfortable conversation? I feel like to have with your child, especially like, because I asked other people as well that also grew up in Caribbean households, and like their answer was the same. It was pretty consistent, like nothing. So it's just like, how do we expect to move forward and really break those generational curses if we don't begin to like open up these lines of communication seriously and have these like real conversations with our children or who we're raising, and being like, okay, I'm not saying this means you do it, but like this is what's happening out here.
They have to know. They absolutely have to know. Like even with mine, like I was tripped out because like we're cleaning up and putting stuff away, and they go and they grab a box of tampons. And I have 3 daughters, so all 3 of them at the same time, they're like, "What are these?" And I'm just like, "They're tampons for your period." And they're like, "What's a period?" My oldest is 10, my youngest is 5. So I'm thinking, like, you have 2 older sisters. You didn't see nothing with them? Like, they're with their dad most of the time. So I'm just like, nobody's told you about a period? Okay. So I sat down and I told them that they're going to bleed once a month around after the age of 10. And they were pissed. My second one, she's like, oh, so she's like, so you're telling me that boys don't bleed once a month?
Wow.
And I'm like, no. She's like, this isn't right. Like, who came up with this? They were just so angry.
It's not funny, but like, you know,
it's crazy though. But like for me, I just automatically thought that they would learn it. They would hear it from other people. And I think that that's the issue with a lot of parents, is they think that the kid, when they go out into the world, into school or with friends and stuff, that they just learn that shit. And they don't. They really don't. Like my oldest is 10 and she's pissed now because she's like, oh, my greatest years are behind me. I'm about to start my period now. she's over it.
Jeez, that is so
like when the toxic period came, it was just almost like you ended up with so much responsibility on your shoulders just because of the thought that you might be able to bleed every month. Because instantly it becomes, well, because you know you can have babies now, you know you're ready for babies, but you're not ready for babies, so don't go have babies.
Yep.
My menstrual story was super crazy. Like like I'm very sure I was very open with my mom, like, yo, this is what's coming out of my under. I never seen this before. You're just not responding. And then finally, like, my babysitter like was like, you know, said That means it, sir. And my mom like sucked her teeth like so hard, like she was so cheese. And it was just this automatic feeling of like, what did I do?
Oh, you felt it was a shame response in a way?
Yeah. And it was like, it felt like I was receiving like anger from her. And I was just kind of like, I didn't understand it. Like, because this is something, I was never told about, never expected it to come. And one day you just see something coming out and you're just like,
what?
And you're trying to like let at least the closest woman to you know what's happening. And she's just like, this is not happening to me right now. And I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? Can I fix it? Like,
I was the opposite because I was just like, where you at? I feel like everybody else had got it. Where you at? So when it happened, I was finally just like, okay, there you are. And then by the time I like got my third period, that's when I started getting cramps, and I was like, I'm over this. Can I give it back? Like, I'm cool without it. Like, call me in 5 more years. I don't want it.
How old were like each of you when you got yours? Like,
I have to actually like remember.
I think I got mine at 11, but I remember I got mine and like luckily my grandmother was visiting from Winnipeg, and she just happened to be there that weekend because I told my mom nobody cared. I go to my grandma and she's like,
yikes.
And I'm like, what's so funny? She's like, you bleeding. You're a woman now. And I'm like,
oh my God.
That's not cool. Like,
I love that. I love that. It's like she just poured you a drink one time. It was just like, here, young it. Welcome.
Right. It was definitely before high school for me, but I don't remember the exact age. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll say like 12 or 13.
Yeah. So so that brings me like to the next point of just like, do you feel like men were taught about sex differently growing up, or like treated differently by parents growing up versus us
100%.
women, or like how we identify?
Well, most of them were like unknowledgeably molested to get their first experience at a young age. Like the actual numbers for this says over 60%, especially Black males. So like, unfortunately, a lot of them are exposed to it in the most unhealthy way and ways that they don't completely understand, right? So I don't know. For some men, they're taught it, they're not taught it at all, and some are taught it in the worst way possible. So unfortunately.
I like that. That added on to like an angle. Because from our perspective, especially within like the West Indian culture, we kind of see them being left alone. Mm-hmm. And when you kind of add that to it, you're like,
go about their ways.
Well, that's why. And that's why all the coddling.
Mm-hmm.
But like there's other factors, like boys don't bleed, just like your daughter had to figure out. Like they don't have that physical, tangible indicator to say, hey, I have a responsibility. You know what I mean? So they're kind of like free balling. And then you do have like the coddling aspect where a mother won't necessarily want to ask her son, and maybe that's why she doesn't want to ask her son what he's getting into. She's just kind of happy that he's doing whatever he's doing with girls. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like that's always
a main thing for them. Point. Yeah. And that's sad as well, because it's seriously different times now. So I definitely do have confidence though in the generations coming like of these parents, because they're definitely, becoming more respectful and aware of different people's like, just what they're into.
The conversation's being had now. Like I remember a time when like we're at a birthday party and my oldest ran off with another little kid that was 2 years older than her. Mm-hmm. She's on the spectrum. She shouldn't be running off with anybody at that age. She's about 4. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, no, she shouldn't be running off. Nobody in the house was freaked out about it. Mm-hmm. Nobody saw a problem with it. And everybody was much older than I am. Mm-hmm. And I realized, I'm like, okay, so the 40 and plus, to them, nothing's wrong. But when the kid goes in the closet with another kid and they get hurt,
Mm-hmm.
then you guys need to do therapy on that child. And that's not the case with the millennial generation. Yeah.
But won't do the therapy. We'll do the sweep under the rug because is there anything really wrong with it? Nothing happened. What?
And also
if they even acknowledge that it happened. So
yeah, they're like, oh, boys will be boys, and I'm like, no, we don't play that. We just don't play that.
We don't. And that brings
that ties into like there's so sorry.
Is she frozen? Oh, Kelly, go ahead.
Okay. Because things are going on. Yeah, it just kind of ties into a lot of young girls have that story as well, where it's just like some inappropriate shit went down with somebody older than them, and nobody around really did anything about it, and nobody wanted to talk about it.
Mm.
And I feel like over the years, you get the story because some girls just gonna be like, I can't hold this. And then before you know it, it's just like, by the way, we all have the same fucking story, dude. Like there's variations, but it's the same story. And I don't really know if like our guys doing that. I don't think they do.
Yeah. The odd thing was like, I've had about 3 boyfriends that I can say like, and each of them were incarcerated, ironically, but they all had a backstory of some babysitter or cousin did something to them when they were like 6 and under. Mm-hmm. And that was their first experience with getting oral. It was their first experience having sex. And it's not sex, it's rape at that point. But the thing is that was their experience. And they thought they were losing their virginity. They matured way too fast. And they thought that they were having a sexual experience too young. And for their entire life, they keep having those weird experiences. Mm-hmm. And they don't think anything of it because now it's their nature. And unfortunately, I've met way too many, especially the ones that have been incarcerated, where they have that common denominator. Somebody did something early on and they're too young to identify what happened because you're too young to understand consent if nobody sits down and talks to you about it. Especially like they said that children are supposed to learn how to understand consent at 2. And you can start as early at 2, but you can start as early as the day they come out. Like as soon as they touch you, you can take their hand down, hold it close to you on a lower level so they learn not to grab on your face. You know, there's certain things that you can show them like, no, we don't yank hair. I had a video of my daughter yanking my hair earlier, but it's like I had to literally teach her like, you don't yank my hair, you don't push me, you don't pull me and stuff like that. You can teach them that, but people don't teach kids that. They just let the kid climb them, jump on the TV, hit their brother and sister.
Sounds like baby's kids.
Yeah, you just let them kids.
Classic. But that's all very, very, very true. So that brings me into like our next topic, which is now that we're a bit older, I'm sure all of us have experienced intimacy. And I decided to go on this rabbit hole and look into fetishes. Because everybody likes different things.
I love it.
Right?
Love it.
So I got a little like chart. And I was like, oh, it's actually interesting. And you're just like, the fetishes of the year are very much wrapped around just life changes.
It's funny and it's amazing too, because you're like, oh, I can really find my people.
So, because that can feel very lonely, right? If you feel like you're just going through it all on your own and you can never like be happy that way because nobody likes what you like. I like what you like.
That's what it is. You have to find somebody that actually really likes what you like.
Whatever you like.
Yeah. And isn't just trying to say it. All right. So wait, do you have a list? What did you find?
That I've been getting into?
Sorry?
My fetish I've been getting into is financial domination.
Ooh.
That's all I've been looking into. I'm just like, wait, so I can get paid and I don't have to do nothing? Okay.
So
And
what does financial domination like mean to you?
So there's a bunch of websites that you can use actually. Like you can actually just Google it and they have like official websites, but it you can do it through OnlyFans. Most of it's just online based. Like people don't meet in person anymore. So they just really want to see like pictures and videos and stuff like that. Some people like to be roasted. That's the funniest thing. I don't really get into it too much because I'm like, I'll hurt somebody's feelings. Like I'll be the one person that'll make them cry.
No.
So it's like, no, I can't be the insulting person. I feel bad afterwards. I did have one person though. This one guy years ago, his thing was walking on a leash. So, but you had to say to him demeaning things. And then also he had to say whatever I told him to say.
Mm-hmm.
That spoke to me because I was making him call me a black queen while like I'm, walking this white man on a leash. I'm like, this shit's dope. Like, this is really awesome to me.
Is that like, how does that, I know you said it's like dope and awesome, but like, how does that feel to like have that, I guess, type of power over someone? Consensually.
But it's cool. At the end of the day, I do it like at that time, I got paid very, very well for that. I was just like, I probably wouldn't have done it for free. I probably would have felt like this is definitely going to be an issue. Like I could get arrested for doing this, but because I got paid and it was consensual, now I'm just like, are you sure? Like, are you sure? Okay, then cool. But you know what? The things that I have seen, like say like from working massage or working at a like strip club and stuff like that before I got into just focusing on art, that whole realm, you become desensitized to any kind of fetish that anybody talks to you about. You have your lines, you say, I don't do this. Like for me, like no pee pee, no poo poo. Like, no pee pee, no poo poo there. But you draw your lines, but anything else you become completely desensitized to. You're just like, money, there. Then in the way, that's why it's more so financial domination, because it's being paid for your services, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So that's more so the fetish. But tell me please about this furry fuzzy thing, Killa.
Fuzzies is, I want to believe they're called fuzzies. So they're supposed to be
I think the champagne's getting.
Isn't this a great time? The champagne hits, you're bubbling. Okay,
this girl's talking about fuzzies. What are we hearing now? Let's go down this channel.
Fuzzies.
Here we go. Fuzzies is it called fuzzies?
Is it fuzzies or
plushies or something like that?
I feel like plushies.
It could, and like people are in bear suits. Like
that's furries.
Furries. I'm gonna look up furries. That's what I meant.
Furries. Ooh, so what does that entail?
Okay. They like wear those suits.
That's almost like when we were talking about the cosplay.
Ooh.
That's kind of what it could be a sect of.
The show that I loved on Netflix, I'm so sad it only had like a couple seasons, called like Bonded. And it was about this girl that was like in the dom sub like world, but she had like different types of clients. So she had one of those clients and he like would love to do the penguin suit and then have like the person have their own penguin suit on and walk and like do stuff like the penguins. And like
you're saying that like Batman and like Danny DeVito biting someone's neck and like the black blood is coming down. I'm like,
I've definitely seen somebody in a shark suit.
In a what?
The shark suit.
I definitely could see a shark suit happening.
Yeah, that was definitely an interesting experience. I've had someone in a Spider-Man outfit before. That one was hilarious. I'm surprised. The thing was, it was one of those ones where you can actually get it from the actual sex shop because it had a hole right here. And so like this was completely messed up. I'm just like,
I bet Peter Parker wish he had that, but he had Mary Jane.
it's like I'm just going with it. I'm going with it. You know what, too, for the cosplay one as well, is people like the actual like cosplay outfits, like the webcam girls. That's such a huge market. Like I actually found out one of my friends is secretly a cosplay webcam girl, and I'm just like, girl, how come you didn't tell me? Like I know you're capable, and I've been seeing like her pictures floating around, and I'm just like, girl, like I'm on OnlyFans, you're on cosplay, like come on, give me some pointers. I wouldn't mind dressing up like Sailor Moon to make some bread.
Ooh, I definitely see women like do like I've seen a who's the opposite of Mario? Not the opposite, Luigi. I've seen girls dress up like in Luigi suit, like webcam stuff.
Word.
There was actually some.
I can imagine.
Sorry?
I said I would imagine that Shiga would be like a good cosplay outfit.
Are you guys still able to see me?
Oh yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So there were some. Did you have another one, Killa? So you had Furies. Wow. Sorry.
Oh, Furries. No, Furries was the only one that I had because that's the only one that I could remember like off the top of my head.
So in the States, they have like top fetishes right now based on certain regions. Mm-hmm. So in the Midwest, this is from futuremethod.com. And they're talking about top fetishes, mainly in the States. So one is called masochism. Did I say it correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Another one is suits and okay, you know the word. Guys, sorry, tongue twister. Group sex and sports gear. That's like top in like the Midwest. And
is this stuff that people look up on websites?
That they practice, that they look up, and that, yeah. And then top one was Nine Tide.
What is that?
Which is like balloons, BDSM, edging, foot fetish, group sex, leather, nylon, sadism.
Everything all together. Wow. The group sex in sports gear?
I don't like orgies are fun.
Okay.
What is the most fun thing about orgies?
You know what? It's really depending on the people. Like honestly, I remember like my baby father brought me to one that was completely awful because like it was a group of like older people, and I was like, why are we here?
Yeah.
Like, I've been to ones where they're really dope, like super fun. Possibly with strippers. Those ones are the best ones, actually. Those are definitely the best ones. But it's really dependent on who's there, because you can show up and only one person there is a perfect person.
What does that mean?
Like just a good looking person. Then you end up, and they're just a bunch of creepy people there. I'm like, why are you people here? Like, who sent you the invite? Like, it made no sense.
Right?
Did you make a donation?
Right?
Facts. I remember one year for my birthday when I went to the strip club. Man, I miss the strip club. Like COVID.
Strip club nice? Mm-hmm.
Man, it was so awesome. And like I remember like coming back from the back like after getting a dance, and like this guy, like now that I think about it, like after I was like, he was probably like an owner or something. He was like, he literally, his hands, like, you know in Scary Movie, the butler, how his hands were? Okay. And he was in a wheelchair and he had on like a yellow polo shirt.
Oh,
and he like took my hand and he was like, and Gil already knows the more lit I get, the more like friendlier I guess I get. We like kissed it, and he was like, "Are you having a good time?" And I'm like, "It's my birthday!" Like, you know, you're just late. You're just telling everybody like, "It's my birthday!" Like, but I was just like, "Yo!" Like, it was just super lit. Like, good times. Good times.
Strip clubs are really fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least for me, I know a lot of men like complain to say like they feel like a piece of meat, but I'm like, eh.
They're fun. I think they're lots of fun. The only ones I don't like are the ones in Mississauga. Everywhere else in the world, they're perfectly fine. Mississauga has some terrible strip clubs, except for the ones right next to the airport. But I don't even know if those are there.
It's like, oh my gosh.
Eat fruit and mind your business.
What was it? Is it locomotion?
Oh, locomotion is terrible.
Yo,
That was
I've been there
dangerous.
so many times. I don't know why.
How many times like have I been to locomotion and somebody like gets lost in the back? How do you lose dancers in the back? Made no sense. Just go missing. And I'm just like, what's happening in that back area there? You know? So I'm just like, I don't understand what's going on in Mississauga, but them clubs suspicious. And I remember like I worked at one called Landing Strip and one Spearmint Rhino. And those ones you had to have a license. You had to have a $500 license to work at those ones. They were extremely strict. They didn't allow anyone to do any extras. They didn't allow anybody to do anything, like nobody to touch you at all. And nothing less than $1,000 to go to the back for a private dance. So I'm just like, this is the littest club ever. Come back to dance? Mm-mm. All the clubs, ratchet, scary, ghetto. You might go missing. Something might get put in your drink. Like, I'm glad Caddies is gone.
R.I.P. to Caddies. So that was a real staple.
Caddies is a hot mess.
Yeah.
That one was really ghetto. Caddies. I'm trying to remember. There's another one that was like on the East End, but I remember like I was trying to get a job there. And this was like a moment in time where like I was battling with the universe. And I'm like, I shouldn't dance. I shouldn't be dancing, you know, like, but I gotta go make some money. So I go into the club. And the second I step in the club, it was gang rated.
Jeez.
And I'm just like, yo.
The universe was just like,
told you.
Back the fuck up. Back the fuck up.
Right? Dude was like, do it one last time. I was like,
I've always wanted to ask, you know, like, what is one of the ways that you feel like as a woman just being a part of like that world, as we all are in some entity, but like, how do you find one of the ways that you mainly like conquer your fear? Because I know you can't speak for other women, but just your personal experience, because being in those situations, you know, it takes a lot of bravery. It's not easy, you know what I mean? And not all women are always strapped up. So what are one of the ways that you just helped you to, you know, conquer your fear, if you have at all, of just like being in those situations where it's like, obviously, you know, it's hella dangerous, but like money has to be made type of thing?
You know, it's funny because you would have, like for myself, like one of the things that I had to do was I had to start going into victim services and therapy, because if you're leaving that, you're not leaving that, and now you can go back into the world and a bunch of men don't know who you are walking on the street, you know? So you have to have protection from that. You actually have to be protected if you leave that life, right? So coming out of it and going into therapy, and them saying to me, they're like, okay, you were trained like an ambulance driver. You were trained like a firefighter. You are completely able to run into the burning building. All humans are capable of it, but it's not the best for every human to do, right? But I got desensitized very, very early on. And one of the things that made me pretty easy to deal with on it was when I was 18 and I was dancing on the day shift. People's moms I knew were on the day shift too. And they didn't know that their moms were on the day shift.
There.
But I, at 18, was with this 40-year-old woman on the day shift, watching her get drunk, watching her do all this nonsense, and then go home in a bus outfit. And her son not know. But I seen that on such a regular basis starting, and I'm just like, okay, so literally everybody is in this. Everybody's here. I would go to clubs in like Whitby and stuff like that, and there'd be a bunch of girls that I knew, the same ones you see at the club, same way in Niagara Falls. And it kept me realizing, okay, this is just part of the world. There's just a shame around it. So I'm able to understand that this is the exact same girl that works at the bank. Exactly. The exact same thing. It's just a job, you know, but understanding it's a dangerous job. There's risk with that job, you know, but, you know, there's factory workers that don't expect for something to just drop on their head. You know, it's dangerous. I seen a stripper one time at Paradise just pass out in somebody's lap her first night because she was drinking. She wasn't drinking water and stuff like that. So I seen that, and I remember her friends not dealing with it. For me though, I was young, but the thing was there's responsibility. You have to actually go pick up that person's body so the person doesn't get assaulted. Simple fact, you know. But I think that's why I was able to get in and get out of that lifestyle, because I always kept such a good mental like that to make sure I took care of people where I needed to take care of people. You know, like if one of my friends got grabbed or something, you go get them. You know, unfortunately.
No, that's real.
Yeah.
That's an interesting, just like other side to going to the strip club. You know what I mean? Like I've been to Locomotive quite a few times, and I remember getting like way too drunk too quickly, but like refusing to use the bathroom and like going outside and using the bathroom in the parking lot. Just thinking like, yeah, it's cool, it's whatever. You know what I mean? And like, wow, that shit happens at the strip club. When you imagine that one of them is just people go missing.
Yeah, it's crazy because like that, to have that perspective is unique, you know, to actually be a woman and to go into a strip club and feel kind of free. That's a unique perspective. Like I've seen like there was one downtown club that I was working at, and I remember a girl got super drunk and she was working, and someone stole her car keys and stole her car. So like seeing stuff like that, where it's like another dancer did that to you. So you're not just thinking about the staff, you're not thinking about the DJ might try something, you're not thinking about the fact that the clients are going to try something. The girls might try you. There might be a house mom there. There might be custodians there. There might be security there. Well, most strip clubs do have security. But the thing is like, though, you got to interact with all those different energies when you're making money in those places, right? And having to deal with those different energies, you really, really got to be able to look at things good. Like you got to look at it like it's a business. Because for me now, I have all these transferable skills. I'm like, great. Like I can go do all this stuff as a musical artist. Like I can go deal with all these people on a different level and speak to them differently. But early on, nothing shows you. Nothing, you really don't learn anything about it. I was fortunate though, I did find a course in 2012 for strippers. Like super lucky. There was a course.
Okay.
I found, and it was, I can't even remember. I don't know if the woman's still making it, but it was an online course that she was doing, but this white lady, and she was just explaining like how you should plan out your outfits. If you are at the club, you need to have the connection with the bartender so you can make sure that they are only making you sober drinks, but they're getting the money for an alcohol drink, right? And then they split it with you at the end of the night. So there's so many different things like scheduling yourself. And so when I started doing it when I was young, I had no structure, very, very foolish, did a lot of dumb but fun things, very, very fun, but very, very dumb. But after I had my first daughter, though, I was able to go back into it professionally, writing things down, mapping out my outfits, making sure when I go and schedule. So I had a quota and stuff like that. And I turned it into an actual job. And I did that for about a year. And I made way more money in that year than I did just being a little renegade 18-year-old running around with rich men.
Just bossing.
Yep. Facts.
Killa?
Word. Hey. I'm just like, okay, taking games. Pick it up.
For real. We see eat fruit and mind your business here. And, you know, Amaris is giving a lot of fruit tonight. So I hope you guys just take it in. Like,
for real.
Now, we also want to get into, because we talk about self-care is very important. And, you know, we're stumbling around the idea. Do you guys consider masturbation as a form of self-care?
100%.
Amen to that.
100%.
Amen.
It's not even crazy that you're kind of taught, no, you're outright taught not to do it. It's the fact that you actually need it. Like, if you're a woman, you have to masturbate.
Why do you say that?
You just, nobody should know your vagina better than you do. Very point blank. You like, you really, like, pun intended, not intended, you should really be like, your vagina is right hand. Very important, like, major key. You're not really ever going to be able to tell these stupid boys where to go and what to do if you don't know where to go
and what to do.
You know what I mean?
Sorry.
Also, like, there's a whole journey of, like, making it yours and making it your own. I'm not really into it, but obviously because it's self-care, it's very necessary. And, like, I found little things, like, I've made little ways, and, like, it's now a whole little thing, you know. Self-care and the things.
Amaris?
I think it's just amazing. Honestly, I'll tell you guys this. Growing up, I grew up fundamentalist Jehovah's Witness until I was a teenager, and I started to ask questions and nobody was answering. And I'm like, who's Enoch? Why is he in the Bible 8 times? And then they're just like, we don't need to tell you that. Don't ask too many questions. So then my whole perspective on things started to change when I was a teenager, because I'm like, oh shit, everything they said is not true. But here I was taught that I couldn't connect with myself like that. And I never did. And then I started going into relationships. And I started going into abusive relationships. And I wasn't even able to connect with myself. So I wasn't able to access that part of myself until maybe like 2 years ago.
Wow.
And, like, I was in an 8-year relationship, and you build a complete dependency on that person. You're completely codependent on that person because you do not take care of that, you know? And some people want you to do that. But if somebody wants you to do that and they encourage that, you should definitely look at it like a red flag, to be honest, you know, because it changed my life. I changed it.
Congratulations on that, because it's not easy. For real.
So,
yeah, like I'm with you ladies. I do see masturbation as a form of self-care, especially, like, for me, just, you know, I need a way for my brain to, like, just, so if you've ever watched Wolf of Wall Street and the scene when they're at the lunch table, he's telling him, like, yo, just, like, you just need that in your life. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
And see how men operate on that, though, where they can know that they need to do it, but women have a huge struggle with it.
Because of the way we were taught.
In school, at the home, in the home, like, your parents are telling you no, you're telling, like you said, religion is telling you no. School just kind of says, hey, you have ovaries, fallopian tubes, sperm meets egg, and then there's a baby, you're gonna bleed, once a month there's going to be hormones and this stuff, and your voice is going to change. And yeah, as for women,
free
you're not
condoms
you're not going to
in the
figure it
guy's
out till you're
office.
40, so you don't even have to worry about it. It's like the only thing they really speak on is like there may or may not be a G-spot, and you may or may not find it in your lifetime.
They
like,
never spoke about no damn G-spot. And
we had this one teacher in elementary school, and it's crazy because like she was married to a man at the time, and then now she's like this lesbian now, so she found herself. But when she told us about sex, she didn't know herself, because she's like, make sure you don't shave it like a bowling ball. Nobody wants it to be shaved like a bowling ball. And make sure when you want to practice putting it on, put it on a banana. And we're like, okay. And she's like, and you might get STDs and die.
oh my God.
So pictures and videos of STDs, like what they look like. And we're just like, okay. And we're at that class, that was like a grade 7 class, and we're all predominantly Black. And this is a white teacher saying this to us. We're just like, this is hella confusing. Because like, we're also watching Nelly, Hot in Here, and stuff like that. So we're just like, it can't be that bad. It can't be that bad.
It looks pretty lit to us.
And she looked bald like a bowling ball in Uchiwala. So it's like,
yeah.
we seen the whole thing.
that's crazy. And that's all because she probably never masturbated.
Mm-hmm.
How often would you say like it's a healthy amount to masturbate?
If I need to, whenever it pop up, it's like, hello, let's go.
Agreed. And like that's gonna look like more masturbating at certain times of the year than it is at other times of the year. Blase, you know.
So let me ask this, because this is something that usually goes back and forth. Do you use the hands that God gave you, or do you have a little assistant?
I need to procure an assistant. Okay.
Eat fruit and mind.
I would hurt myself.
Girl, how you ain't got no assistant?
This is why I was not a fan of masturbation for many years. And like for me, I'm cerebral. So I'm just like, there's no spontaneity. I know exactly what's about to happen. I know what I'm trying to, I don't know what we finna do here. Like, I wasn't into it. Bro, like, gloves. Medical gloves. Just that little bit of separation. I'm just like, okay, cool.
That's actually very good. I dig that suggestion.
But really, yeah, I don't have any toys, but I have crotchless onesies. Try your best. Try your best. I will repost her in the Insta stories on Big Killa, so you can just see the. It's Russian call girl at her purest.
Ooh.
At her purest, and imagine. All this time I'm looking at them and I'm just like thinking to myself, this is a bit much. It's a bit excessive. But why would anybody need this? And then one day it clicked to me and I was like, solo play. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna have to invest my $1.90.
So did they okay, so you're gonna say I'll ask after.
No, go ahead.
So I'm gonna say, okay,
it all out.
What was your answer? What is a good? You said anytime it comes and Killa time.
Anytime, yeah. I say anytime, and then sometimes like you're gonna have to adjust and you're gonna need a little bit more. Sometimes you're good to go.
Okay, so
it really is.
What'd you say, Amaris?
I said sometimes it really is. It's just good to go.
Listen, so do you guys like set an ambiance? Do you set a whole mood for yourself?
I live in an ambiance. Like I live in ambiance. I have incense going every single second. I just live in ambiance.
She was stunting on us earlier, guys. She was talking about raspberry incense and things. Like,
yeah, I was feeling a little dry still. I can't even say. I got a little white jasmine happening here. No,
I have my mango candle, but you can't see it.
Word.
And the champagne.
Yeah, I actually do. Candles are actually a vibe.
I was just looking at
I
this
love
candle
candles.
I was gifted earlier, and it's so sexy. Hold on, let me actually show you. Hold on, let me go get it.
I love candles. Like they're like everything for me.
Word.
Like you just light a candle and you feel like really good.
So sometimes I don't like do the ambiance thing, and I kind of feel like I need it. I need a whole situation because I'm a sapio, so I always need that. Without it,
It's a sexy candle.
I like that.
oh,
I wonder how it
beautiful.
burns. Ooh, when the wax drips over the titties.
And then it's super sexy. Then it's sensual.
Oh, that's sick.
Sensual candle.
That's
I
sick.
think I want to do a photo shoot with it.
Me too. Like throw lighters around it.
I'll send you the page.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. It's black on.
That's a
Yeah,
vibe.
it is, and she's from Toronto.
Thank you.
She actually
Go ahead,
gifted
queen.
it to, she gifted it to the charity that I work with.
Just
So,
I definitely I switch it up. Like there's a lot of things to do. You know, you watch porn, set an ambiance, play your favorite stream cherry playlist right now.
the mood.
You got 51 minutes to get it.
To get in the mood.
I can get it in less than 30. You can do it.
Don't rush your process.
I won't lie. I get really greedy. I get really greedy. Till it's just like, okay, you gotta relax. Sub me, coach. Sub me in.
And it only increases when you get older.
From just for sake of like the brand, you know, but girl, I don't know if I get more than what it is right now. Like sometimes I be like, girl, you gotta chill. But for me, it's also like it is serious self-care. And like I can already hear the listeners like giggling and just having a great time throughout all of this. But like for a serious moment, it's just like it really is a form of self-care, because just like for me, I've spoken about where like showers, it feels really something about water is very therapeutic. Me making my tea, having that is very therapeutic. And I definitely feel like loving on yourself, because not all the time can you be, you know, and with COVID, everything, like people are just in different climates. So why not get to know yourself on all levels better?
I like that.
So
Knowing yourself
practice
on all levels.
Practice some self-care this week, okay, everyone? Especially my queens.
Know yourself, bro. Know yourself.
yeah, honestly, it is life-changing.
Yeah, I feel like I
Like, I
came
have
out
no
of this
tolerance
life.
now. I have no tolerance for bullshit now. It's
Because now
like
you know it's bullshit.
my self-worth is like all the way up because of it, definitely. So I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like I can do this by myself. If I could do everything by myself, I'm sorry.
Would you ever have sex with like a sex doll?
No, but depends. It
Like one of
depends,
those
honestly.
robots?
If it was a nice enough doll. Like, yeah, you can't say no, and then you go ahead and you see a robot that looks exactly like the perfect thing. These robots be looking real.
That's what I was just thinking about. I'm like, if they get the robot to look like, you know, Morris Chestnut or something, and like, you know,
You never say never.
Like, and then you customize old dude.
oh,
You know, he might be a little bit more girthy. He might be a little bit more heady, a little, you know, whatever.
whatever you like.
Right?
You have the hip, and then the butt, and then the dick, like that.
I seen those ones, but the women ones always look great.
Yeah,
They find all the tech for those.
If those ones can like somehow move.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've seen like one time I was at a sex store, it was like almost like over, well, the last time I seen it was like, I want to say between $700 to $1,000. And it's just a part of like a bit of the thigh, a little bit of the waist, and like a perfect, I don't want to say perfect, but like a well-shaped catus. And like the way how they have it is like as if the person was positioned in bacchus. So everything like the vaginal area, everything's just kind of like propped up, right? Everything's just right there. And then it comes with like a remote thing and you can like adjust it just like a vibrator. And now they've upped it even more levels where they make like even that cushion of like going in and what it leads into like more and more realistic feeling, kind of like a, what is it called? A foofy or whatever?
Warm amplifier.
Yeah, that. So
I want to get into that business. Like
you
I
should.
want to like make one of my like my booty and like sell one of my like pum pum, you know, could definitely do that.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's like you all you would need is like a 3D printer.
Telling you that 3D printer is gonna fuck up a lot of shit.
Pum pum.
That 3D printer, man.
If it can make steak, it can make
That part.
Amethyst, do it now. We done threw it out in the universe. Go do it now.
So we're also
I've been definitely thinking about like, because you see those fleshlights. I've seen that people have like those, and you can actually like get one, but it's somebody. And I'm like, okay, so you can sell that. And I seen it was $50 a pop, and I'm like, $50, and they would never have to actually look at me or touch me. All they're doing is with the toy. Just imagine. It's like, great. That's great. It's perfect.
It's like easy money.
Very.
A lot of stuff is definitely going to be upped, like virtual reality sex. Like everyone feels like they're having sex with each other, but they're not.
We were asking before, like, would you or wouldn't you do that? I'm thinking about it and I'm like, I've been to a sex club and I've seen like how it goes down. If you could do it virtually and you're kind of doing it on your own, I feel like that's something, if I didn't have to outright pay for the experience, I'd try it.
Right? It's just different.
Yeah.
So,
It's funny because like I equate it to like shrooms. I haven't done shrooms yet. I'm imagining both of them would trip me out.
You ever done shrooms?
Not yet. Not yet.
Man.
I had an experience where I had it blew up my nose. I had the shaman, he crushed it down and he put it with phoenix tears and he blew it up my nose. Terrible experience. So I'm just like, nope. I'm hearing all the voices, like every single one of them. But I was just like, okay, so shrooms isn't for me. But I think if I like microdosed on it, it wouldn't be that same experience that I had before. The shaman was tripping.
He went off.
Yeah, that sounds intense.
It's so tense.
So the day you try those, but yeah, when you said all the voices like that, but not more you talking to the burning bush than like you being open to everything in the universe all at once.
Yeah, no, that was too open. I could hear everything. I was just like, no. And then my friend that I was talking to, he was white French, but he was Arabic and I didn't know. And he started to talk, like switch languages, and I was already high. And I was like,
Super tripping.
I walked away. I left. I'm just like, I'm just like, this man's like speaking to me in like a completely different tongue now. I'm just like, I am fucked up. But then I spoke to him afterwards and he's like, nah, he's like, I speak 7 languages. Like, so he every single person he speaks to, he's speaking to them in a different language. And I'm like, that's not a good person to be around while I'm having this experience.
Too stimulating.
Too much. Imagine like what it is to be someone that knows 7 languages.
I mean, it's amazing. Like, I'm in awe of anyone that knows more than one language, because I'm just like, I have no idea. I hardly know English.
Legit. But guys, like, that was fun. That was pineapple fruit for this week.
Eat fruit and mind your business.
Now we're gonna get into a play on Vogue. So, Killa, take it away.
Vogue. So my play on Vogue, I'm going to delay for the week that we have Norway. I'll just drop like a completely different one. once again, it's going to be like a throwback memory from New York City. I remember going to a casting at the MTV building, and on my way upstairs, I like bump into Judge Judy. And Judge Judy is just like, she's just this little thing with like a perma scowly face, but she's nice to women. Like, she's one of those women that champions for women, and she's kind of known for it. So like that's her energy.
Yeah.
She's always a pitbull, but like when she sees a woman, she's just like, "Hi, how are you?" little like she looks like a nonna. She looks like a cute little nonna. Went upstairs, went to the casting, was just like, yeah, whatever. I wear sneakers. I'm from Toronto. I'm cute. Rah, 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 rah. Long story short, got got the job, and I ended up like in a skit for the MVAs with the Wayans brothers, and like I was wearing Prestos, and the whole time like one of their brothers was just ragging on my feet. He's like, I don't like your feet in your shoes. Like, it just, I don't like how it looks. And I'm like, I'm cool with that. it's cool. But like the whole family is just like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's always like nonstop jokes. I don't know what it would have been like to grow up in that household.
Yeah.
But side note, that is such a good looking family. Like, I almost didn't care that he was ragging. I was just like, you're so gorgeous. Whatever you want to say, just keep standing here.
Right here. Don't go nowhere.
Right? And I'm just like, these are things that I actually have to sit back and try to remember because they happened when I was like 18 years old. It was over half my life ago.
Jeez.
Like, yeah, I was just chilling in like a green room with the Wayans brothers, just like getting ragged on like I was part of the family.
That is dope.
Imagine like ending up there when really like every Sunday, that's who I was watching. You know what I mean?
Full circle moment.
So early though, so early that I didn't really get the chance to say, yo, wow, this is some shit. Like, this is a good little place to be for a youngin'.
Yeah, most definitely.
That's my play on Vogue for this week. Just like a happy auntie memory of like good things and good times.
We love it. So now with Bare Fruit, as we told you guys at the beginning of the episode, Cherry playlist out now. Make sure you stream it. But Amaris, you said you listened to the playlist as well. So usually at the Bare Fruit section, we highlight like one of the tracks and just kind of say, just top track for us, maybe in the playlist, or one that we want to highlight, and just say like what it meant for us, maybe a time it took us to. So on our Cherry playlist, which one of the songs are you like, that's the one?
I have to say the Quincy Jones one. I'm definitely saying the Secret Garden. Definitely that one. It's so good. And it's like at the end of the playlist. So like I listened all the way through and I'm just like, who's that? Who's that? I just like, no way.
What did he say?
Everybody's vocals are perfectly placed.
It's Quincy Jones. You said play.
Perfect arrangement.
Quincy Jones.
Quincy Jones, 100%. Yeah.
He died, like you could not play, like he is that. He is that air. Like that's just what he does. And I was watching was it the Ray movie again? And I forgot that was no, not the Ray movie. My apologies. I think it wasn't Ray. One of these movies, and he was outside always trying to. It was Ray, and he was outside always trying to get into the club, and he couldn't get in. And then later on in life, him and Ray linked up again somewhere, like when he finally was old enough and started like becoming Quincy Jones. And I'm just like, wow, like you just never know who people will become. He was like the little kid that would be outside with the trumpet, always trying to sneak into the club.
Was he the one that was like, I'm not going down south. Black men are still boys down south.
Yes. Lawrence Tate played Quincy Jones.
Okay, yeah.
Did you watch that movie?
I haven't even seen that. What's it called?
It was Ray, yeah, the one with
Ray
Jamie Foxx, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx, like even like with the whole Ray Charles thing, the fact that he like memorized his every action like you could actually see him, like he actually embodies him.
He did.
Yeah, he put his foot in
Killed
it.
that. He killed that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, he's an impeccable actor.
Killa, what was your bear fruit pick for this week?
Honestly, I want to say that it was Secret Garden, but I just feel like it's going to be Secret Garden all the way around.
Right.
So I'm going to pick
super slap
anytime, any place, because like I told you earlier, I really didn't want the playlist to just be a male perspective on what getting in the mood is supposed to be. So I threw in, you know, Janet. I feel like she was like one of the original controversial artists, but she kept her class about her. You know what I mean? It was about sexual empowerment for women. So I'm gonna pick that one off the strength that it bangs hard and it was warming you up. That's how you got to Secret Garden. You didn't even know where you made the turn, but you made it at Janet Jackson with somebody holding her titties on the cover.
Anytime, any place.
That part.
Oh my gosh. And I was like, Maxwell didn't make it on wherever, whenever. There's so, like, listen, guys. You guys do not understand how hard it is to only put 10 tracks.
I never do 5, ever. I just get alternates and extras.
Bruh. It's so hard because, like, you love everything. You're like, no, but this is me. You just have to literally...
Most of my playlists, I would probably put like about 20 songs. I just like make sure it's like either 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
Playlist wise. Anything less than that. I think people listen to playlists longer than they listen to albums though, because there's more variety, right?
Mm-hmm. It's true. I still listen to albums, but that's just, I guess, because I'm getting older.
I love listening to albums because like you actually find the better songs that way. Like
there's certain tracks you just like.
Yeah.
Like for me, like Views by Drake, I always listen to that top to bottom. Like that's a full.
That was my album for a minute. I feel like Drake pushes out so much work though that you can kind of get like lost in the momentum. I don't double back too often. I usually double back to Take Care.
Take Care, yeah.
That as well.
Take Care is a different type of project for him. Like that, I think also because it sounds so underwater. Like the entire project just sounds so underwater.
It does. It sounds like he recorded it. Like, yeah, you're right. It does have that feel. That's
Feel
like
that
way to describe it. And my bear fruit pick for this week, I don't even know because, bro, it was hard. But you know what? I'll go with Nice and Slow because even though Rock Me Tonight was banging, but Nice and Slow, like it's something about when you hear that it's 7 o'clock. You know that meme that you see that people are like, whatever they're doing, they're like running to the dance floor. They're like, oh, gotta go. Like it is definitely one of those. And Usher was my first like famous person concert. And I remember my mom being so pissed that my godmother took me. And it was like the best concert of my entire fucking life. I used to take my mom's ring and like sneak and wear it to school and tell people that I was married to Usher. Like it was so real. It was so real. So
the feels.
And like,
how do you feel about the Usher bucks? How did you feel about it?
It was definitely something for promo. So I feel like the more well-kept strippers didn't have any issues, the more I did digging. So, you know, politics. But
people just trying to make him look like he was a con man. And like the thing is I didn't find a single person that was actually seriously upset about it.
Exactly. Because apparently what was said is like people got broken off. I'm just going based on what I saw, but they got broken off like on the back, and that was just something to, you know, so
make it go viral.
Exactly. So, hey,
I think he's like the king of viral moments. Actually, he just pops out of nowhere with some kind of scandal, all the time, and then people like brush it under the thing because they're like, that's Usher. Don't talk about Usher. Like
Usher, baby.
right.
He had a lot of tracks that I was like, oh my gosh, which one do I put on the playlist? Because I had like That's What It's Made For. Oh my gosh, I had like Red, like there's so like
all of Fetishes could have just got thrown on here.
could have hit it just for one night. Listen to me double back twice.
Right?
Must have been out of my mind. I'm about to hood up. Yes, it's too late to turn back now. What?
Like a whole ass too.
Bro, do you like? I don't need no lyrics, bro. Just give me the mic. Just give me the mic.
You know how heartbreaking the whole Chili and Usher thing, like growing up, was like.
Yeah, I felt like
these kids had little Uzi and JT. I'm like, you guys will never know Usher and Chili, bro. You'll never know that heartbreak.
Yo, she like, I can never forget, like she pumped out some of the man's teeth. Like young love, I guess.
I'm the kind of brother who be getting it in. Yes, I'm so caught up.
Oh my
Got me feeling it.
We're bare.
You need to be a DJ.
Oh my gosh. 100%. Destiny's Child t-shirt. And now won't you hear I sleep in your t-shirt.
Wait, that was like a whole flashback though.
I all went into nostalgia mode and went on to remember that performance they did. I'll never forget the feeling of being at home and watching BET Awards that year. And Destiny's Child, it was like their last performance as like the fulfilled, well, that's what they said at the time. And they did that BET performance and they did the lap dance. Like Beyonce got Terrence J. Remember Michelle got like, I think it was like, was it Magic? And Kelly got like Nelly from the audience. Remember? And when Beyonce fling it, and Terrence said, no, sir. No, sir. The man had to just brace himself. Man, like, oh. Or like, okay, this was my last nostalgia clip. Then I found like the first time that Beyonce, it wasn't the first time, I think it was like the second time Beyonce and Jay-Z like performed together. And this is when like BET Awards was still like a ting. And like she wore that silver outfit. And remember, it had the belt thing on stage where she would stand and she would just be sliding. And then that was the first time we seen Jigga like tap her body. And everybody was just going crazy. He's like, remember, and now they have it in their choreography, like up to this day.
Everybody, like that choreography will never die.
Never.
Yo, I'm gonna have to YouTube that because I really suck at watching award shows.
No, it was that performance. She came with like, she saw the golden locks and she, baby, I can't. And he's like, a French chinchilla, and then bounced, and then her body just bones, and then everyone like, ah!
I believe that. No, but I have to YouTube it. I have to find it.
Honestly, I feel like at a certain point, like from like 2003 to 2008, if you didn't watch award shows,
yeah, you missed.
You were just out of the loop of music because we didn't even remember we didn't even consume music how we're consuming it now, where it's right in our face. We had to go to LimeWire, so like most of the time we're figuring stuff out.
But not even just that, because actors too, niggas will never know the disappointment we had in Brad Pitt when he snaked Jennifer. We were like, really? But then we were like, we love Angela. Like it was such a like, they will never know.
Maybe this is Angelina and not Angela.
My bad, Angelina. My bad.
Hey.
I love me some Angelina. So I was like, Jennifer, I love you, girl, but like, I kind of see why. Like, I don't. And then now they're just like, in the worst part, just being like, you suck. No, you suck. No, you suck. Like, so, you know, shout outs to them.
Honestly, because like think about it too, but like I feel like the celebrity culture then was so dangerous because how involved everybody was. Because that whole thing with Britney Spears, like perfect example, like our culture was crazy. And I can't even say like, I think the youth of that time period, I feel like the ones that came from the 80s, if you like watch those Oprah interviews and from the 80s and stuff like that, you hear what people are saying, like where they're like, how is your son? How would you feel if your son's gay? He's a sinner. And you're just like, oh, like, okay. People
It
are
was
like,
less censorship back then.
there was,
So niggas was getting their shit off.
people were saying some really like messed up stuff in that time period, and then that makes you realize these are people that are all eggs up in everybody's business. They feel like they have to control everything, and then these teen pop stars pop up out of nowhere and they're just all up in their business. Paparazzi went crazy for these people, like absolutely crazy. Like it was almost like a duplicate of the Marilyn Monroe time period, where like the paparazzi went nuts then, and they made a lot of money off of stars.
They really did. But now we're independent, we're making our bread, we're creating our own tables, we're wearing our crowns, we're owning it, we're practicing self-care, and wink wink, and we are just, you know, just living our best lives and being in our true form. So it's a beautiful, beautiful space to be in. So I think like that's it for this week. We gave a lot of fruit. It was giving. We gave the cherries. We had beautiful Amaris. I do not say the first part because I have a tongue twister. And like I'd be like Amethyst, Amaris, but it's no disrespect at all.
It's the tongue twister. Like, and
no, it's
I
just
don't
me.
think nobody can say it. Like my Uber, I see it. I see it. These people like
Amen.
It's like, who is this? It's like, just call me A.
But like, Killa, let everyone know our sponsors again for this week.
Our sponsors for this week are Icy Little Tings for the waist beads, Saint Lucie Skin for the natural butters and scrubs, food grade oils used when applicable, possible, and available. And Big Killa, BigKilla.com for the merch. All up on the walls. Yeah, and like hit up Big Killa on Instagram to check out the NFT. We got Candy and the Metafox up. And if you slide over to Icy Little Tings, we have Eve serving Eve G energy because she's the mother of everyone.
There we go. There we go. And also we're sponsored by Shop Downtown. You can get your original merch at www.downtownworld.com and click the shop tab. Or you can visit like the website, Instagram, social media, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, and it will lead you to the merch and support, okay? As I said, I keep telling you guys, the merch is about to get switched up, so be sure to support Get Your Merch. It's less than a McDonald's meal, and it's going towards just continuing to build and grow Downtown World. So want to remind everyone to like, share, and subscribe. Let us know what you think, how you feel about this episode. I know we totally were like, talking about some different things today, but let us know what you guys think and if you're vibing with us and how you feel about all the things that we discussed. I want to remind everyone, have a great week. Eat fruit, mind your business. Ladies?
Blessings.
Yes, honey. Thank you for having me, girls.
Yes,
love
thank you for joining us.
We love you. Oh yeah, like Killa. Thank you, Amethyst Amaris, for joining us this week. Can you please let everyone know where they can follow you, where they can find you, and what I would like to normalize as well. I've been talking about it on my other show, Downtown World. Make sure you guys are streaming that as well. It comes out every Saturday. But let everyone know how you like prefer to be approached.
I like that last one there. Okay, boundaries. So my Instagram, AMETHYST _AMARIS, Amethyst _Amaris. But you can reach me on there. I'm on all platforms if it's difficult to reach me in one, but I don't mind being messaged. It's just think about what you're going to message me about before you message me, darling. But yeah, and you can stream me under the exact same name, Amethyst Amaris, on all platforms.